In today's episode of the Pathway Presents podcast, I have an interesting guest here with me today. I'm with Lacey Reichwald, and she's heading over from the team over at AHA Media. And at AHA Media, they're all about clear healthcare content marketing and copywriting. So they're providing healthcare organizations with that much needed content marketing in a very clear and concise manner. So today we want to really learn about AHA Media, what they're doing and what they've been actually learning about buying journeys in the healthcare space. So welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
Of course. So Lacey, give us a quick overview. I gave it a quick summary, but in your own words, what is AHA Media all about in your perspective?
Sure. So I'm the marketing manager at AHA Media Group and focus on getting our brand in front of as many people as possible. And I have a lot of experience in marketing, but this is my first time working in an organization that focuses on healthcare. And that's been a bit of a learning curve for me, but I'm learning a lot about healthcare content and healthcare marketing. And what we do specifically for the healthcare industry is build out marketing content strategy, content writing, and training for marketing teams in hospitals, health systems, B2B healthcare companies like health tech or med device, and also for government clients. And I like to say that we create content ranging from "Hey girl" to "I need a PhD." And that's because we write everything from blog posts that are directed at patients who are just looking for something educational with a little bit of entertainment, all the way up to scientific white papers for medical institutions. And we have writers on our team that can do all of that, including social media, email marketing, basically anything where there's written word in healthcare. We write clear content around that.
Very cool. Very interesting angle to content marketing. Now, who would you say, because obviously healthcare is a wide space, which types of organizations benefit the most? Do they need to have a certain amount of traffic so that it makes sense? Or do you guys build up traffic through your content? Is there certain verticals? Do certain verticals not work? Maybe give us a quick high-level insight. Who would be sort of a great fitting client for
Sure. Historically, our best clients have been hospitals and health systems that have 100, maybe 500 plus employers. They're larger organizations who are undergoing some kind of organizational change. So maybe a merger or an acquisition, or they've added a new service line and they need to get their content out to their audience quickly and clearly. We do include SEO best practices and keyword research and all of those things into our content development. So we do help build up the audience for these organizations, but more often than not, they have an audience and we just help them sort of get the ripple effect of having good content. And I do think there are different organizations that benefit from the work that we do, but in the end, our focus is that end user benefiting from the work that we do. So that's the patient, the patient's families. Because we focus on clear content, we want to make sure that people can make the most important decisions of their lives by finding the content that we're creating for our clients and being able to easily understand it. That's really our mission.
Mm-hmm. That makes a lot of sense. Now, who would you say within those organizations is typically, picking up on the AHA Media Group, or who is sort of a champion internally to bring, is that actually a CMO? Is that a content writer that says that actually we need more help, or does it come more from the C-suite level because they say we need to ramp up on content?
Yeah, healthcare is so interesting in that regard because they're depending on the hospital or not just hospitals. This could be in med tech. This could be B2B. Depending on the organization, their marketing team can look completely different, even if their revenue looks similar or their employee size looks similar. These content and marketing teams are so varied by organization. So in a lot of the organizations that we work with, we're usually discovered by someone who's not the decision maker. They're usually an influencer who lands on our content, finds it, great for helping them make day-to-day decisions in their role and make their job easier. And then we sort of build a relationship with those individuals, and they'll usually recommend us to a decision maker. Sometimes we do end up forming that relationship with someone that's even higher up than the decision maker. It's not usually the CMO who's saying, let's hire a content team. It's usually more like the VP of digital marketing or like the content lead, somebody who sort of has someone that they report to and people that report to them. And usually once we get in front of them, it takes a triggering event for them to make the decision to work with someone like us. So I don't know if that answers the question, because it sort of runs the gamut. Our audience is really wide, but the decision maker is usually in that sort of middle management position where they have a lot of things on their plate and they have a lot of stakeholders that they answer to as well.
No, that makes a lot of sense. What would you say to how do these folks learn about AHA Media? Is it is it actually the content that is bringing them on the website? Do they hear from other sort of players in the market? What's sort of the client acquisition journey looking like?
Yeah, it's a little bit of all of those things, as I'm sure most people's client acquisition journey is. It's all about being visible though, right? We work really hard at being found easily in search results. That's something that we preach to our clients. So of course we practice that. And I would say that most of our clients at some point or another have searched and found us through some keywords because they're looking for some help. But we're also really visible in the industry. Our founder, Ahava Liebtag, is very well known and respected in the healthcare content industry and goes to a lot of conferences, both in content marketing and in healthcare, and speaks at those conferences. So sometimes it's, the CMO saw her at HCIC, and then the content specialist Googled and found us, and then they were talking around the water cooler and realized that they both knew about us, and now it's time to make a decision. So people sort of come at us from multiple angles, and the most important thing for us is just to make sure that we're showing up often and putting our best foot forward so that when they're ready to make a decision, we're top of mind.
Very good. Now, what role do you think the website plays in that journey? I've been on your page. It's a very clean, very, very nice, visual setup. What do you think? What do you think the website plays? Which role does it play in the journey?
Yeah, I think that it plays a really big role in the journey, and we're discovering that more and more. So I mentioned that I'm newer to this role. I've been in this role for about 3 months, and my first 3 months have been doing a content audit on our website, and I'm finding a lot of interesting things. Our clients do interact with our website very frequently. They're looking for information in our resources. We have a lot of blogs, downloadable resources. We share a lot of content to help people do their jobs better. And a lot of people are finding us on our service pages as well. So they are interacting. One of the things that I've already learned, and not to give away too many of our trade secrets, but we're needing to put more content on the website that shows buyer intent. We have a lot of interaction with the website from folks who will never become clients. And so having some really key pieces of content that show buyer intent, like, for some, like an essay for like a SaaS company, which we're not, but for a SaaS company, that might be like a pricing page. So something similar to that is how we're going to even collect more of that information about how people are interacting with our content.
Makes sense. I mean, you're actually speaking sort of about the buyer's journey there, where there's some stages where they have high intent now. What do you personally think, or what have you learned over the years? It can be, with AHA Media, but also actually prior to that role, because you obviously recently joined. What have you learned when it comes to converting and capturing the buyer intent? Might it be like call, sales conversations, contact form request fill outs? Anything that you've learned over the years? Any tools, methods, approaches that you found helpful for the pages to drive results?
Yeah, I think, the biggest thing is about reducing friction. So trying to really understand what is the thing that this person is trying to get out of this interaction and delivering it to them in as few steps as possible. So for me personally, as a buyer, and then I've applied this to my marketing as well, if a contact form has 20 questions and I have to give you my phone number, chances are I'm not going to fill it out and you're going to lose that opportunity just based off of that contact form. So really making contact forms as short as possible, making them as easy to find as possible, but then giving people alternatives also. I understand the value of a contact form. We use a CRM. It's great to have all of that information imported automatically, but having the option to email someone directly or pick up the phone and call someone is going to help you spread a wider net and allow you to get leads who have different preferences for reaching out. So I think reducing friction and just making it as easy as possible for as many people as possible to perform the task that they're trying to do in that moment.
Mhm. Now, we talked a lot about what you guys are doing. We talked about the journey of them getting started. Now, I would love to talk about your journey as a marketer. There's so much content out there for marketers to educate themselves and learn. I mean, you guys are in the world of content. So there's a lot of content for content marketers out there as well. Where do you personally like to educate yourself? Like, what's your go-to resources? Where do you get high quality, information for your journey as a marketer?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, podcasts are a big one for me. I love to listen to marketing podcasts and learn as much as I can from other professionals. What I love about content marketing is that people are willing to share information so freely because there's so much information out there and it doesn't hurt to share that with the community. Everyone's going to apply it in a different way. So it feels like there's not as much competition as there is cooperation. And I really like that. I started my content marketing journey by taking a class from Andy Crestodina, who owns Orbit Media. And it was a content marketing in a digital world class that I took several years ago. And since then, I've been following him on LinkedIn and take any webinar I can get my hands on that he is hosting. Also Rand and Amanda at Spark Toro. So Rand Fishkin came from Moz, obviously, and now he has Spark Toro. They have a monthly webinar called Office Hours where they run through audience, how to understand your audience, how to understand where they're hanging out and how to reach them. And I find that invaluable. There are so many free resources out there that I couldn't even list them all, but really just being connected on LinkedIn, I think is a big one for me. And then following sort of the marketing Twitter threads to see what's new is also really important when it comes to technology and compliance, things like, the Google Analytics switchover that's coming up and cookies and opt-ins and things that we need to know as marketers to stay compliant. I really think a lot of that knowledge comes to me through Twitter, or at least an awareness of it, and then I can go and search and find the right resource to learn more.
Mm-hmm. Very good. I mean, you spoke about super interesting topics there. The cookieless world is coming up. Probably another chapter for another podcast interview. Now, for the very last question, right, to sort of wrap it up and learn a little bit about your journey, what I would like to know is if we would do a little bit of time travel, right? And we go back to the days of the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater, right? So you're heading out of formal education into the world of growth and marketing. You've been a business owner as well in between. What's the one advice that you would give yourself for your journey?
Ooh, I think it would be don't try to map it out. I have a tendency to set a goal and then work with blinders on to get to that goal. And a lot of times that will force me to ignore opportunities that pop up along the way. And the best things in my life have come from those surprise opportunities. So my journey from college student to business owner to healthcare marketer was not a straight path. And that's because I allowed myself to follow some of those side opportunities. And I wonder if I had noticed more of them, where I might be today, but I'm pretty happy where I landed. So I wouldn't change anything.
Very good. Lacey, I really appreciate you took the time with us today. I want to give you the very last word. If somebody would be forgetting all that we discussed about AHA Media, what's the one thing that they should remember?
Clear content, plain language, make your content easy to find, easy to read, easy to understand, and just clear content. If you need help with that, we can help, even if you're not in healthcare, even if you'll never be a client. Give us a follow. We share a ton of information on clear content.
Thanks a lot for being a guest on Platform Presents.
Thank you.